What's up, dude and dudettes? Welcome to Worth It Dude's Top 5 Most Disappointing Games of 2017. What a year it's been, right? We've had some of the most dodgiest underhanded practices from the publishers, broken games, and general letdowns. So we have handpicked our biggest upsets of the year for your viewing pleasure. Onwards to the Worth It Dude's Top 5 Most Disappointing Games of 2017.
For me, Destiny 2 was a bit like a whirlwind holiday romance. To begin with, it was fun. And then I thought I was in love. But after the weekend, I realised I didn't really like it that much, and it had probably given me an STI. Okay, maybe not the last part, but you get the analogy. It's a short ride, this one, before the visage of a fun and open-ended MMO experience fades and you realise you're left with a dull loot shooter that wants you to come back and play a few times a week and then leave it alone. For all the hype, it seemed to bear the same cross that the original did in its vanilla state, showing that Bungie does not learn its lessons well. When we reviewed it, I thought I was more than fair with the scoring, but Bungie have done very little to improve since then. In fact, they did the exact opposite. Upon the release of the first DLC, The Curse of Osiris, players found themselves locked out of prestige content that was available to them only 24 hours previous. A very dirty ploy by Activision and Bungie to sell the next part of their game, in my opinion. Although later retracted, this just showed that with AAA gaming, if you give them an inch, they will take a mile.
A part of me feels bad for this game making the list, as its flaws pretty much come back to the publisher, Warner Bros. Games. Shadow of War is a solid game at its bare bones, but the game is inflicted with the surge of 2017. Loot boxes everywhere this year, for fuck's sake. Oh yeah, and with RNG, gambling, bait crates for resources. And home to the greedy microtransaction goblin. Yeah, him, that little bastard. The game is intentionally made more grindy to either make you pay for resources to skip the grind, or you can just grind like a rabbit for an excessively long time for the resources. But wait, this is the shit kicker. After the passing of developer Michael Forgey, his fellow developers decided to immortalize him in the game as a random ally that turns up and kills your foes, much akin to the mysterious stranger in the Fallout games. However, Warner Bros. Is never one to miss an opportunity to milk their consumers, so they decided this would be paid DLC. Yeah, Warner Bros. Turned a dead employee into microtransactions. That's a brand new low in our books and a total piss take. So after a super amount of kickback, they let the DLC go free, but that doesn't change the initial intent. This is what happens when good games are spoiled by bad publishers.
Whoa boy, this one's a bitter pill for me to swallow. I've been a fan of Mass Effect since the beginning, and a BioWare fanboy since Baldur's Gate way back in 1998. While I know the BioWare that I loved is no longer a thing, I dared to hope that Andromeda would deliver a compelling new story set in a universe that, quite frankly, I'm already 100% invested in. But unfortunately, it has to be said that EA and BioWare really dropped the ball like a hot potato on this one. On launch, I was seeing constant crash to desktop, freezes, unstable frame rates, and server crashes in multiplayer, leading to loss of all progress made that round. And that's to say nothing of the crappy facial animations that spawned the dankest of dank memes and gifs on the internet. Come on, you know the ones I'm talking about. It seems that us gamers have become accustomed to broken games on launch and have become more than a little forgiving towards our favourite AAA IPs. So as I waited for patches to make Andromeda playable, one thing became clear. Andromeda was a buggy mess with a stale story arc, boring companions, and a bunch of copy and paste open worlds that had been stretched out to give the illusion of size, when what the player base was screaming out for was depth. With the failure of Mass Effect Andromeda, EA have put the franchise on hold until further notice, and this genuinely made me angry. This game was rushed and given no love or little care to detail. This should have been 2017's answer to The Witcher 3, but it fell flat on its face like a drunk Krogan at an ice rink. This was, in my opinion, the first of many cock-ups that came this year from EA that basically led to the worst year ever for them.
EA strikes again on our list with their latest Need for Speed game. After the 2015 reboot, which wasn't perfect, to be honest, that game was just kind of shit as well. So enter Need for Greed Paycheck to take all those great things and take a massive loot box flavoured shit right in your face. How? How did the graphics get worse in this game, along with terrible sound and customization options, than its 2015 predecessor? Surely these things you improve on with each title, right? The story was flatter than hammered shit, smothered in with the most annoying stereotypes what EA thinks illegal street racers should be like. Funny that, just like the 2015 game. The problem with Payback is that every time you're about to do something worthwhile, like driving up to a truck for a hijack maneuver, or a big jump, or anything, the game just steals control from you and just runs a stupid cutscene. Talk about squeezing all the fun out of a game, right? And on top of that, if you want to upgrade your car performance, forget about using car parts, because, everyone knows that cars run on speed cards, right? That's right, the loot box roulette is back in this one. You know the drill, a random spin on some in-game items, 100% being pointless shit. Basically the infrastructure of all EA games going forward. Yeah, fuck you, EA.
So here it is, folks, the Worth It Dude's most disappointing game of 2017. I find it really hard talking smack about Star Wars. All three of us here at WID HQ are lifelong fans and will throw ourselves headfirst into anything that has that magical brand name attached to it. Yet here we are, with Star Wars Battlefront 2. A game that was supposed to be an apology for the lame, tame and frankly hollow first Battlefront in 2015. So what did we get? Well, EA kept their promise to do away with the Season Pass and roll out DLC for free, but it came at a cost. And that cost was a pay-to-win, RNG lootbox-infested chimera of greed and gluttony. Offering a stale campaign that served as nothing more than a tour of what you could win if you run the hamster wheel that is the multiplayer for long enough, or spend enough money on the roulette-inspired loot crates. The things that were good about this game were the same things that were good about its predecessor, namely the graphics and the sound, but my god did this game create a stink that would turn the stomachs of gamers around the world. Between the downvoting on Reddit, the review bombing on Metacritic, and various governments and authorities prying to see if EA were pitching gambling to kids, this game has been a veritable goddamn clusterfuck. At Disney's command, EA pulled all microtransactions, leaving it a grindy, unrewarding mess, which would later be fixed via patches, but for most it was too little too late. Also, by rebalancing the reward rates, we feel EA were basically pleading guilty to making the game intentionally grindy to promote the sale of loot boxes, and thus taking a game that appeals to kids as well as adults due to its shiny Star Wars skin, and basically turning it into a sleazy online casino that Jabba the Hutt would be proud to run. Disappointed is an understatement when it comes to this game. With the horrible year that EA has had, we can only hope they learn their lessons and don't screw up this much in 2018.
So there you have it, peeps, our top 5 most disappointing games of 2017. Basically, anything with loot boxes, can just do one. Anyways, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing so you'll never miss an upload from us. If you think we've missed something, please let us know in the comments with your own list as well. Till next time, chaps.